This is Fantastico. Okay, kind of a weird name, but it's included in almost any hosting platform that utilizes the control panel or cPanel hosting. Okay, some examples of hosts that provide cPanel are HostGator. I believe Bluehost does. I mainly personally use HostGator. Okay, I just find their service to be world-class. They've never let me down. Technical support has been fantastic. And, of course, they have cPanel that includes Fantastico, and it makes WordPress a cinch. In fact, Fantastico makes installing a lot of different types of platforms really, really easy to do. And you can see examples of some of those down here. You can install classified type site. You can install Drupal. You can install OS Ticket, which is a customer service ticket open source software. There's lots of different stuff you can do with this. It's really fantastic. Okay, Fantastico even. But obviously our focus tonight is WordPress. I'm going to click on WordPress, and this is the screen you're going to see. Okay, very easy to install WordPress using Fantastico. In fact, it's only like 3 clicks. You're going to click the new installation link. Then you're going to select the site that you want to install on. Okay, from this drop-down box. Now, I have multiple domains. Okay, so there's multiple domains in this drop-down box. If you're just starting and you have one domain with one hosting account, you're only going to have the one domain showing up in this drop-down box. Okay, you can see I've got other domains here in the drop-down box that we're not going to be working with tonight. We're just going to work with this main root domain. Okay, I want to install this on the root domain. I want to install my blog on printdigitalphotos.info. So I'm going to install it in the root directory and leave this blank. Okay, you can see it says leave empty and install in the root directory. Now, if, for example, I want to install, have a WordPress install on this domain specifically for some other purpose, right? So, for example, I might install a separate WordPress blog in a subfolder for PPC landing pages. Okay, sometimes I do that. Sometimes I use my regular install of WordPress. But without making that too complicated for you guys, because you can get everything done in one install, we're just going to do one install right now, okay, on the root domain. You're going to fill out your admin data. I typically like to install with, you know, I don't like to use the admin too often, meaning putting admin as my username, because you know, that just makes it easier for your WordPress site to get hacked into. Okay, so I like to use my first name, last initial, then you come up with a password, your password, whatever you'd like there. Admin nickname, again, my name, not a big deal. You're going to put an email address in here that you'd like to associate with the WordPress account. Okay, so Gmail and any email address that you check and have access to. The site name is something I typically will change because they're just going to pre-populate this with your domain name. And I like to use my keyword phrase as the site name. Okay, and I capitalize each word, separate it with a space. The description I typically leave blank, and I'll fill that in later on in my install of WordPress. Okay, now I already have this installed. Okay, so I'm not going to click this button. But there's only one more screen after this screen. Okay, you're going to click this. It's going to give you some messages saying, okay, it's been installed. Here's your login URL. And would you like to send the install details to an email address? I will typically include an email address and email the install details just in case. Okay, 9 times out of 10, I won't have a need for those install details, but you never know. Sometimes you need to find out a database name or database username, and it will be included in the install details. If you don't know what that is, that's not a problem. In fact, I'd recommend it, even if you don't know what that is, to email that to yourself and save it for future reference. Okay? So we're going to skip that. I'm not going to click install because it's already installed. All right? When you're done installing, you're going to, Fantastico is going to give you your login URL. You click that URL, and actually you'll be brought to this page right here. This is exactly what it'll look like. You'll log in using the information you just put in there. Looks like I used admin there. Okay, so when you log in, here's your dashboard. All right? That's it. The basics of install are done. Okay. Now, if you really want to open up the throttle, so to speak, on WordPress and make it super SEO optimized, excuse me, search engine optimized, you want to make this thing, you know, make it a hot rod version of your WordPress install. There's some things we're going to need to do. Okay, and we're going to cover that in exact detail. Okay. Lots of questions coming in. That's great. I appreciate that. Keep them coming, and we'll address those shortly. Okay. So we've got a basic install done. There's a lot of stuff we can do with WordPress, from the basic install to improve the functionality, to improve the security of our site, and to improve the search engine optimization. All right. But first things first, let's start by setting up our basic or most general settings. Okay, settings that are going to be the same on every single install you do. Okay. Now, when I install WordPress, the first thing I like to do is click on this writing link underneath settings. Okay, so from the dashboard, we're going to scroll down here, click on this writing link. All right, you see this red message up here. Just ignore that for now. I left that there because I want to show you how to set up the all-in-one SEO pack. Okay, so just pretend you don't even see that, shall we? Okay, good. So the reason I clicked on this writing settings is because I want to delete the update services. You might be thinking, whoa, if you know anything about WordPress, the update services are one of the reasons why WordPress is so powerful, right? When we blog, when we add content to our site and publish, WordPress automatically pings update services, okay? And this rpc.pingomatic.com is an update service that will be notified of new content on your site. Sounds like a good idea, doesn't it? Well, you know what? You're absolutely right. It is a good idea, but not when we're first developing our site. Okay, this is a site that has no content on it. Okay, I highly, highly suggest that when you launch a site, you launch it with multiple pages of content. Okay, and because of the way WordPress pings every time you update content, every time you add content, when you're first developing your site, you'll need to go back and you'll edit, you'll re-update, and WordPress will ping every single time you do that. Okay, and we don't want to over-ping these services with unnecessary pings, because then our site will be labeled as a spam site. We don't want that, obviously. Okay, there's negative ramifications for that type of thing. Okay, so I'm going to avoid over-pinging by deleting that update service and clicking Save Changes. Okay, that's just for now. It's just for a little bit while we establish our content, our base content, and then we will add our ping list later on. Okay, so that's step number one. Step number two, I immediately go to the Permalinks link underneath settings. Okay, Permalinks, click on that, and this is the screen you're going to see. Okay, Permalinks are extremely important when it comes to SEO. Okay, it's the first step in the SEO